How's it going, guys? In this video, I'll be talking about Dewy and talking about how he didn't really necessarily he didn't really need to die. Is what basically I'm gonna be talking about in this video. Um, so I'm just gonna get started by saying that Dewey Riley, okay, he's one of my favorite characters. All right, he's an OG in the Scream franchise, as I said millions of times. Like he's just a great character all around. And Scream 5, I just did not like the execution of how he died necessarily, because the way he went out was just so terrible. The execution of it was just so bad. And I felt like it was lame. All right. And I came up with a nice idea that all you people, all my subscribers might love, because this is an idea that I had in my head for a while, okay? And I wanted to talk about this a little bit. So, what I'm basically getting at is that Dewey didn't necessarily need to die, to move on, to move on to the next generation. All right. They easily could have did something like, let's just say that, like, Dewey didn't die at all, and Gale doesn't die at all either. Let's just say that Dewey lived. Well, you could have did a lot of stuff. You could have, like, had him, like, live his life, You could have had him live his life like Sydney or something, You could have just wrote him off the film, You didn't even have to kill him necessarily for them to move on to the next generation. So I just feel like they kind of made some kind of mistake some way. I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, we gotta move on. I understand, yeah, we do gotta move on, alright? But this idea came to me, like, into my head. It kind of makes sense now that would have worked a lot better than killing him. Like, just say that, like I said, he's living his life like Sydney was, along with Sydney, and that Gale, she survives and she makes her exit just quietly and doesn't die either. Like, let's just say that, like, all three of them just got written off of the film, and they all three were just living their lives, and they occasionally just here and there just come back, into the film, like, here and there, and make it some kind of appearance. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, they didn't necessarily need to kill Dewey to move on to the next generation. All right, there's a lot more better. There's a lot of things that you could do other than killing, Dewey off. Dewey, I don't think he should have, like, yeah, I understand, yeah, you gotta move on and all, but at the same time, the way that they did it was lame, alright? The way he died was lame. So, to me, it kind of felt like that they could have kept him alive and could have did a lot of stuff where he was like a Sydney, like following Sydney's footsteps, like where he was living his life, and Gale, they could have wrote her off the film as well. And they could have just all just had a happy ending, all three of them. And then you could have just said, hey, we're going to move on to the next generation. Dewey, Gale, Sydney, all three of them are going to stay alive. They could have easily did that. That idea came to me. Like I said that it would have been cool to have, like, Dewey, like, come back every once in a while. And it would have been cool to have him come back as, like, an old man or something. Like, let's just say when he's, like, 60 years old. Something like that. And he comes back to help out with the Ghostface, killings again. But he doesn't die. That's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't necessarily need to die to move on to the next generation, guys. Like, he just didn't. He didn't need to. There's a lot more better ways, in my eyes, to doing things. They could have easily just wrote him off the film. They could have easily just said, he's living his life happily with Gale. they could have written Gale off along with him. You know what I mean? To move on to the next generation. You don't have to kill him to move on to the next generation, alright? That's what I'm basically saying. And also, we got to keep in mind, too, is that if Sydney does die, she's not going to get killed by Ghostface. Alright? I'm just saying that right now. If Sydney dies, she's not going to die, getting killed. She's not going to get killed by Ghostface or nothing, I don't think. Because Nev Campbell actually made that clear already that, she, if she gets killed off in any way, she's not going to return. Well, she's not going to return anyway because obviously Paramount issue, obviously. But, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot more better ways. And they could have went about it a different way, like where he just died in the hospital or something. You know what I mean? Or something like that. But I would have loved for him to just get written off the film. Along with Gale, along with Sydney. All three of them just get written off the film together. That would have been so awesome to see. And then they could have just all came back every once in a while, as I said. Make some kind of appearance, like when they're older. Like Sydney could come back when she's like 70 or something. Dewy could come back when he's 70. And Gale could come back when she's 70, you know what I mean? Like, I think that would have been really cool, to actually keep them alive. Keep Dewy alive and then have them, just write them all off, of the film. Give them all three of them a happy ending, But give me your guys' thoughts down in the comment section, down below. Do you guys think that's a good idea? And do you guys think that would have been better than killing them? Because I definitely do in some ways. I know you do got to move on, but like I said, there's better ways to move on. You don't have to kill somebody to move on, necessarily. So, with that being said, guys, this is Ghostface Fanatic, signing off. Peace.